I always knew I wanted to be a doctor. Didn't always know I wanted to be an OB/GYN, just kind of gravitated towards that. I've done probably 1,500 to 2,000 cesarean sections in my career. Not using opioids for cesarean sections and not using opioids for GYN surgery is the quest I'm on right now. We as physicians can wholly prevent the opioid epidemic from continuing by not writing for opioids. There's a direct line between writing too much opioids to heroin users. Nobody starts, I believe, with heroin. I don't think anybody wakes up and says, yeah, I think I'll become a heroin addict today. We doctors could be more thoughtful in the way we dispense drugs. What opioids do, instead of treating the pain, they fool the brain. The difference between, say, an opioid and a other type of pain medication, so you have what are called non-steroidal anti-inflammatory agents. What they do is they actually treat the pain at the pain source. So since we stopped using opioids, we've noticed that our patients are doing better. I remember one of my first patients, 3.5 hours after her surgery, I decided I wanted to see how she was doing. So I walked into a room and she wasn't there. Walked back down the hall and she's standing there drinking a cup of coffee, leaning against the door jamb, telling her boyfriend to go get her a cheeseburger. This was 3.5 hours after surgery. It was amazing. It was an epiphany. After that, we were on a roll.
I grew up right outside of Houston in Sugar Land, Texas. My childhood was a very mentally lonely childhood. I had twin sisters that are older than me, so it was kind of, I never felt like I had anybody with me. My dad's from California, my mom's from Israel, so it's two different types of parenting techniques that they use. We had moved to Las Vegas when I was 14, and I was very upset. I didn't have any interest or really care for drugs, but then when we moved to Las Vegas, it was like, well, I'm gonna show you. And I remember I was waiting for the bus. A kid that rode my bus had a dislocated shoulder, and he offered me 2 pain pills and said, you want to try these? And there was no hesitation. Hell yes. I can't tell you about the last time that I got high. I can't tell you about the 87th time that I got high, but I can tell you about that very first time where I was the second I felt it and the rest of that day.
My personal response to other families is that it can happen to you. It's not a disease that occurs only to the low socioeconomic class. It's important for me to get this message out for 2 reasons. Number one, I deeply care about my patients. I want my patients to have a quick recovery and a full return to activities of daily living without having this harbinger of opioids over their heads. The second reason is a little more personal. And I'll cry, I apologize. I unfortunately have a daughter who is a recovering heroin addict. When I first heard that she was an opioid addict, it couldn't happen to me. I'm a doctor. My wife is a college graduate. I've got 3 other kids who are college graduates. It doesn't happen in my family, in my socioeconomic class.
First time that I did opiates, it was a feeling that I had found what I had been looking for. Calm, quiet, peace. It was as if I was embraced by a really warm blanket of quietness. It was that feeling of I absolutely need this and will do anything to have this feeling. And one weekend I didn't have any pain pills, and I didn't understand why my body was physically in so much pain. I was informed actually by the person who gave me opiates for the first time that I was in withdrawal. And even knowing that, I continued to get high. He told me that as I was getting high, and I'm like, oh, well, I guess I just have to have it all the time. So you just chasing a dragon, just constantly chasing something, chasing a pill, powder, a rush. I wouldn't even consider, I was alive but not living. I had graduated to heroin and meth because the pills got expensive. There was a month where every morning at 6 a.m. I was waking up at a different hospital from an overdose. And it just kind of became like, okay, thank you, can I have my stuff, discharge me, I'm gonna go get high again. After you overdose over 10 times and you are still alive, you get this like Superman ego about yourself that you just think you're invincible.
We've been told that we're supposed to let her reach rock bottom, but rock bottom is much further down than you or I can comprehend. It's a horror, it's a living horror.
I hadn't done heroin in about 11 months, and I don't know, I shot up heroin and I just fell into an abyss and I died. And I was actually mad that they woke me up because I was in such a peaceful state. That was scary. But at some point you stop caring. So the opioids told me that everything was okay, that, you know, you don't need anybody. You asked me when I realized that I wanted to change. When this last time in detox, I had been woken up from a nap by one of the technicians telling me that there were 2 detectives there to see me because the man that I was getting high with was wanted for attempted murder. Well, that's like the final cross off the whole bucket list of getting high. Cops coming to see you in detox, you finally accomplished everything of being a drug addict, like it's time to get sober. I will always be an addict. It's a struggle dealing with every single day, but I feel much more strong. I feel stable.
Becca currently is sober for about 6 months now. I think she's reached the age where she no longer wants to be an addict. How's recovery going?
It's going good. It's hard. It's not very easy.
I bet.
My dad took a personal devastation in his life and turned it into a public awareness. That's what he did.
Her disease made me a better doctor, and therefore I changed my practice because of her. Is there anything that Mommy and I could have done to prevent this?
I don't think so.
Were we that stupid?
I don't think you guys were that stupid. I just think you guys were that ignorant. You weren't knowledgeable.
My hope for Becca is sobriety for the rest of her life. My hope for Becca is that she can reach her potential, go to college maybe, a career, a family.
Not every day's gonna be happy and not every day's great, but those moments where you are truly happy and you're actually laughing and not because you're high, it feels really good. It was a mess, a beautiful mess.